When the president walked into this administration, the economy was in ruins. It was in absolute ruins. You saw unemployment was at about 6.4%. Hundreds of thousands of jobs, small businesses were shutting down because of Russia, the war that Putin has started. We saw gas prices go up.
Well, fortunately for Karine Jean-Pierre, she had the safety net of MSNBC to support her without any fear of pushback. Fortunately for us, we have a guest who can give us a real pulse on where things stand. Joining us now is the former chairman of the White House Council of Economic Advisors under President Trump, Kevin Hassett. Kevin, welcome back to the show. All right, so a recent poll from ABC News seems to explain why Democrats are desperate to push this narrative that they're a party who can turn the economy around. It says that money issues consist of nearly half of voters' primary concerns. Okay, so Republicans have been very confident that they can fix the economy. From your standpoint, if they gain control, is there anything that they can realistically do to get the economy back on track quickly?
Right. Well, the one thing I can say is that they're absolutely accurate that they did turn the economy around. The problem is that they have the sign wrong. You know, when Joe Biden came into office, GDP growth was 6%. The inflation rate was in the ones. We were entering the COVID lockdowns, and so millions and millions of people were going back to work and getting back to their normal lives. And then Joe Biden had this massive increase in spending that created inflation that made real incomes decline and real GDP decline and put us in a recession. And so they absolutely did turn things around, but they didn't do it the way they mean to imply. And so, sure, there are lots of things that we could do to fix it from here. The question is, it's a team that's in so much denial, as we just saw in that clip. Are they going to be able to think of solutions? And the answer, I think, obvious to the American people, the voters that are coming out soon, is no.
You know, Kevin, the president this afternoon, and I was talking to Jim Comer about this, was talking about a windfall tax on energy companies because he wants to punish them. And in theory, he thinks this might get them, I assume, to lower energy and gas prices. What if this were to pass? I don't think it will, but if it did, what effect would it have on gas prices and the economy overall?
Right. Well, it would drive them up, Sean. You know this, that you and I used to talk economics all the time. I know you should have an honorary degree. The fact is that if you attack the profits of energy companies, then that reduces the return on investment. And if you reduce the return on investment, then you get less investment. You know, my friend Tim Fitzgerald and I, you might remember, he was the tall, bald guy at the CEA that sometimes came to meetings with me. We did an estimate that if Trump policies were still in place, we'd have more than 2 million barrels a day more than we have under Biden. Because Biden basically, with their financial regulators, they made it so that banks can't lend people money to explore. With their EPA and everything, they've stopped approval of everything. They've shut down pipelines. They've done everything in the world that you could do, except raise taxes on oil companies to raise prices. And I guess, it would make sense that they would propose a windfall profits tax because it's as lame-brained as everything else that they've been doing. And so a big windfall profits tax would basically end exploration in the U.S. and move it overseas, and that would be bad at the pump for sure.
Okay, Kevin, the Fed is meeting again on Wednesday. All signs indicate that they will raise interest rates again, this time 0.75 percentage point. It would mark the fourth straight significant raise. Also, companies are laying off employees. Home values are down and interest rates are up. So where are things headed? How concerned should people be?
People should be really, really concerned. And actually, the most stunning thing in terms of the way the liberal press mischaracterizes things is the way they treated the GDP number that was a little bit positive. I don't know, you guys probably covered it a little bit, but that GDP report was very, very ominous. And it suggests that we're headed towards a deep recession like we had in the 80s. Because what happened is that all the growth came from an increase in our net exports. But the reason our net exports went up, which is, what we export minus what we import, is final demand in the U.S. dropped so much that our imports tanked, while our trading partners, their economies are kind of doing okay, so they're still buying our stuff. And so the number was negative absent that. But the problem is with the dollar so strong, our net exports are totally going to go down. And that means that as bad as it was in the first couple of quarters this year, it's going to be way worse in the fourth quarter and going into next year. And so people should really be careful now about doing things like purchasing durable goods, buying a new car, getting a payment that might only work if both members of the family have a job, because layoffs sadly are coming.
Not good news as we get ready for the holiday season, Kevin Hassett. All right, but we do have an election that will cheer us up. Happy Halloween to you, sir. Good to see you.